This is my beloved Logitech g703. I love this mouse, truly. It is one of the best shapes that Logitech has ever made. There is no other shape that compares. There's no other mouse that has even swayed me to believing this beauty. This mouse truly has no competition. It is in a league of its own when it comes to shape. This video is basically just how I extended the lifetime of this mouse by just making it a bit more competitively viable, reducing the weight, changing out the switches, everything in between, and pretty much how you can do it, whether or not you should do it. Me personally, I think this was the best things I've done because using this mouse, wow, there's no shape that has compared for me. Now, Logitech does really need to make a refresh of this. It's been almost 7 years, I think. This came out in 2017. God damn. Crazy, but alas, here we are. Now, all this video will go through is just a teardown of this. This has been years of me iterating, innovating, finding new ways on how to make this mouse lighter. Now, there is a popular mouse modding YouTuber named Bearded Bob who has done the Logitech g703. This is pretty similar to his one, but as you can see, there is a few extra little things missing that have been taken out. And yeah, he goes a bit more extreme as he has more tools at hand. Basically, this is just how to do this, just with a pair of clippers and screwdriver. Basically, that's really it. When it comes to the way shedding, obviously you will need a soldering iron if you are trying to switch out the switches. The one thing I have not done on this mouse is change out the battery. As you can see, it is pretty big, pretty big right here. I think when I was watching the Bearded Bob video, his one comes with a smaller battery, which is kind of unfair because this one is pretty heavy. So maybe in the future I can make a video where, you know, I switch out the battery, try and make this even lighter. We don't know yet. If this video does garner your attention, you guys are interested in me making a full tutorial, I can do that. And yeah, just let me know down in the comments if you guys are interested in that. I will probably want to buy a new one though and do that, but alas, let's get into it. So here we have a closer look at the mouse. Here you have it. Pretty much just hollowed out here and here. This, I basically just took out this little piece in the mid frame in the shell that hold the middle mouse DPI button. Pretty much the difference between this and Bearded Bob's video is that he drills out much more of this and some bits more in the mid frame. So pretty much all you will need for this is obviously the mouse, some clippers, and just a screwdriver. It just comes down to, first off, opening the mouse, which just means taking off the feet. Since I've had to take off the feet so many times, I pretty much just put double-sided tape on them, and now they work perfectly. They're very well detachable, whereas the original Logitech feet, I pretty much just welded on. It's pretty annoying, but here you have 4 screws, each one in the corner, and you just take those off. So pretty much once you have all 4 screws off, you just like take it apart. Usually if your one is brand new, this little middle section here will be clipped on just right here. You just have to bring it out and then just unclip it like that. Boom. Now you have 3 sections to this mouse. You just have the top shell, which is just the left side, right side, and the top here. Now you have the mid shell, which pretty much just houses most of the daughter boards and the switches. Now the mid shell is quite hefty on this. It is where a lot of weight can be saved. A bit on the top shell as well, and a bit on the base, and obviously the battery. This main things we're going to be cutting off here. Pretty much now what you have to do is take off the battery. Pretty simple. You just grab here. It is a little tough at first, but now you have the main connector, which links the main board to the daughter board. Pretty much just controls all the switches. It's just one of these style connectors. You just basically pull up on this tab, and boom, there you go. You have 2 pieces now. Now, pretty much what most people start off is the base, but I would argue that this does not have as much weight saving as the top, except removing this bit here. This bit here was created by Logitech so that they can harness the power of demonic beings, so they can sell you more mouse pads. Pretty much it's just a power play charging thingy. I don't know what it's called, but it's this module for power play charging. It has pretty heavy magnets in it. All you have to do really is there will be a few screws here that hold down the magnet. You just take off the magnets. Now you have 2 holes inside of your little ring compartment thing. And now you can get at it by just starting to clip off using those holes that are already there. And you can just clip off a perfect circle. This is obviously after you've removed the main board, which I will be showing how to do. So you just start off. There is obviously going to be a bit more screws on your one. I've not done any modding before. I have taken off a few screws, bit of a way saving, don't hurt nobody. This is the screws for the main board. You'll have one here, four here, four under as well, holding the plastic. Let's get at it. Basically, you just want to take off these screws. Now, there is extra places that you can take out from. For example, up here, from what I saw in Bearded Bob's video, he just basically drilled out this entire section here, this entire section here, and this entire section here. No, he did this using like a drill, Dremel, and everything, but basically that was just too complicated for me at the time, and I was just not interested in doing all that. Pretty much just being lazy. So pretty much you just want to take out this main bit. Saves quite a lot of weight. This will shift the balance and center of gravity of your mouse, so you will want to move a battery. The battery also does come in with its own little casing, which I promptly removed. A little extra weight saving there. I just put double-sided tape on the battery, which just made it so it's easier for me to just place it wherever I want. Me personally, I like it on top of the sensor like this, so that the main weight of the mouse is just basically right on top of the sensor. Just feels a lot more smoother, for my opinion. Maybe you can do it however you like, whether you like it more towards the back, more towards the front. It's up to you. Personal preference, really. Now here we have pretty much two hardest things in the entire mouse, and it's that simple. For the battery, if you want to replace the battery, it's just a pretty simple job. You just get a lithium-ion battery that just looks like this. You can get it from many stores, and once you get that, you just get the soldering iron, get your new battery, you cut off these wires, splinter in the new ones, you solder them on, boom, there you go. You just want to keep the connector. Now this will affect obviously your battery life, but this battery is so old that pretty much my battery life is already really bad, so I do want to replace this, so we'll see. Now I do have a scale, so we can weigh the battery, just see how much it weighs. So this battery on its own is 15 grams. So pretty much this is definitely the easiest way you can save weight on this mouse. It's just literally getting a smaller battery that is much smaller. So yeah, as we saw, 15 grams on just the battery. If you maybe half this or get a bit much lighter battery, you can probably get your mouse down to like a good 15 grams down, which is very impressive for just such a simple little mod. You don't even have to take off the board. You don't have to do anything really. Here we have the top and mid shell. Weighs 44 grams. Yeah, 43, 44. This is the biggest part of the mouse that I have worked the hardest on, I would say. Definitely cut out a lot of weight from this. Basically what this comes in, two screws here, one screw here, all the way down there. Between the side buttons, there is a screw there as well. Now, this on the stock mouse will come one piece. This is all one piece. Pretty much all I've done is just cut around these two. So make sure that these two are still intact, as they are very important for the structural integrity of this mouse, as they basically just hold on the back plate and they hold top shell to the bottom shell. It's basically where these four screws hold on. I mean, these two screws, they screw in here. These are the points that they screw on, and these two under them is where the back plate holds on. So pretty much you just want to trim around these. You also want to make sure that you trim with probably the buttons on as well, just to make sure that you don't mess anything up with those. Now you'll basically just have this little shell. Obviously it's a bit flexible, but once you have the back plate on, there is absolutely no flex, and it's crazy because you've taken out so much of its structural integrity. It's very impressive at how well this mouse is built, because goodness gracious me, is this thing built like a tank. Here you have as well daughter board. It should be mounted as well to the mid frame. You just unscrew it. It has, I think, 2 screws or 3. You just unscrew it. Like you have it lying there. Basically now it just hovers there for me. Pretty much you just want to have this straight line of just nothing there, that it reduces so much of the weight. So now just have side buttons and the left and mouse buttons left to take out. That will be full teardown pretty much. This mouse is very easy to tear down, thankfully, because I've done it so many times. I basically know where everything is now. So now basically you just take off these 4 screws. These just come sliding right out, just like that. Now here you have a little bit of things that you can trim out, but the main things that you want to keep is this little piece here as well. You do not want to take this off. Basically it is just a spring for the left trigger and have less pre-travel, so that is pretty important to keep. Here, if you want, you can take these off. 2 screws here, 2 screws here. Switch out the switches, which I don't know, there's not really a way for me to show how that goes. Pretty much just it. You just unscrew here. Yeah, that's really it that you can do. Here in these areas, you don't really want to mess with these regions. It's pretty much all critical to the mouse buttons assembly, I guess, and its functions, so you don't really want to mess with it that much. Obviously, if you guys do find other ways that you can trim this down, please let me know. Yeah, that's basically the entire mouse. Now another way can shed a bit of weight. Now there is that light focusing little box that comes with the mouse. So you like white, I don't know, I'll throw up screenshots of things that I'm talking about. Pretty much you just take that off. There is also a lot ridges that connect the actual thing here. It's structural support, but as we all know, this thing is very, very strong already, so it doesn't even need half of these things. I don't know. They did not care about the weight at all back then, but pretty much this mouse is one of the sturdiest that Logitech has made, probably. I would assume that the G502 is much more tankier, I would say, but that is just assumption. I don't really know. I have not been inside that mouse, but if you guys would want me to, let me know. Support the channel. Let me know in the comments. Maybe one day I'll do a teardown of the G502, show its insides, show you how to reduce some weight on it, maybe model a little. There's no point in really taking out the side buttons. It is just basically 2 screws that should be here, but taking them out as you don't really need them there. Once again, this mouse, literally, you can take out as many screws as you want, and it seems to just hold up fine. This is basically just friction fit. It also just has these 2 little prongs that come out and hold it in place. So now, just a reassembly, pretty simple. Of course, you need to put it on your mouse buttons first. So basically, you just want to make sure that you don't over tighten these screws, and on this side as well, just these 2. You don't want to over tighten them at all, because it will make you unable to click, which is pretty important, I would say. So yeah, once you've screwed these in, just make sure you can click your mouse pretty good. Make sure these are on well, and yeah, they're pretty good. Now, it's pretty much just reassembling everything. Click this back on, and boom. Now you just get these screws. You do want to use a magnetic screwdriver for this, as it is basically impossible to get the screws in without a magnetic screwdriver, so which hopefully everyone will have. Now you do want to tighten these screws a bit, as you know, taking out quite a bit of structure. You want to make sure that these screws hold up very well. Now, once again, this really annoying screw that is here, I would say it's honestly harder to get it back in than it is to take out. So, and just basically try guide it without hitting anything, which is really hard. And you want to make sure it's straight, which I think we got. There we go. Yeah, there we go. Now, this does not flex. This doesn't flex. Everything's perfect. So basically, one thing you can do with the board is just trim off a little bit. I don't know if that's even worth, but it is something that I have done. Trim off here as well. Pretty much, you just want to look at the bottom side, make sure that there is no contacts, no lines, anything, and then you can cut there if you would like. I think as well, I may have done a little bit on the side, trim a little weight off, but I think it was pretty stupid now that I think about it. But if you guys do want to try that, try it at your own risk. I'm just outlining some things that I have done in the weight saving department. So yeah, one thing you do want to remember is getting the power switch and putting it in before you reassemble the board, and it should just slot in just like that. There you go. Now you just want to keep this flat so that switch doesn't fall out, and then reassemble the board. So again, you just want to make sure that these 2 screws are always in, or else you will basically not be able to use the power switch unless you do take out the power switch completely, which in that case this will not matter and will not be applicable to you. So here we have the actual board. You just want to put on your scroll wheel first before you put on the encoder, and there we go. You don't really need to screw on this one, the middle mouse button. It's basically just held by the stem, and there is a few little holes that come out actually of the thing, and just holds it in place really well, so you don't really even need a screw for it. The one screw that you do really need is one for the encoder right here. I decided to use only one on this side, as pretty much it is already tensioned by the cable. It is already tensioned on this side downwards. So now all that's left is just to connect everything up, get the battery, plug it in. There you go. Like I said before, in terms of battery placement, I like to just place it right on top of the sensor. That just allows me to have more control of the mouse, in my opinion. It makes the center of gravity lower, first off, and just makes it more comfortable in my hands. And that's pretty much it. If you do like it to have a bit more forward, more backwards, it's up to you. Personal preference when it comes to this mouse. And that is the point of this customization, to give you the freedom to do whatever you want. Now, pretty much all that's left is to plug in the daughter board. As you can see, this battery is very dirty. I guess that just comes with having multiple holes in the mouse. Pretty much you just want to face the side that has the blue little thingy on towards the black lip. And you just plug it in click the black thingy in just to make it contact, I guess. I don't know. That's pretty much it. For this mouse, you just want to click it back together. And now all that's left, 4 screws. Pretty self-explanatory. So I actually did end up with an extra screw. I don't remember where this came from. So again, basically this will happen a lot when you're tearing this down. It's happened to me so many times that I've removed probably hundreds of screws from this without even realizing. That's basically the entire disassembly process of this. So here I have a scale, we have the mouse. So we have about 83 grams for the mouse. Pretty good considering the stock weight of this mouse is 106. This mouse is a big chunky boy. And as outlined before, the battery is a big major player in this mouse. So once again, you can save quite a bit more weight, take out the battery, swap it with another one. This will be probably the easiest way to swap anything out without getting too bloody and gruesome with this mouse, and just absolutely removing everything that's inside of it. Still pretty hefty. Obviously this is not the super light kind of weight, but can get there with a bit more patience, a bit more work. Definitely can get there. I basically just outlined as many things that I did to save weight on this as much as possible so that you guys can replicate it. If you guys want a more in-depth tutorial in the future, just let me know. I could just always buy a new one and tear it down completely, show you how to do the exact mods that I'm talking about, maybe even do a battery swap. That is all in the realm of possibility, and that is up to you, the viewer. If you are interested in this, let me know. If you wanted me to do any other mouses, also let me know. And here are my final thoughts, feelings about this mouse. So pretty much we just have my final thoughts on the much lighter Logitech G703. It has been a real journey with this mouse. I have done almost every single game, every single thing that I possibly could have. I've reached high ranks on many games with this mouse, and it is truly a spectacle of engineering and design, I would say. Definitely one of the best mouses. If you are looking for a mouse, maybe just look for a used G703, maybe make a petition or something, so that they refresh the G703. And by no means has this reached the super light territory, but with a bit more work, this definitely can be achieved. This mouse is very well built, as I went through in my teardown, and it has gone through some very rage-induced moments where I've absolutely smacked the hell out of it, and it is an absolute tank. Even after all this weight reduction, even after all this work, just removing absolutely structural parts of it, no difference. It is indifferent to anything like that. If this is a mouse that you want to start modding with, start it with this one and the G305. Those are probably the best to start with. Genuinely very impressive. I have nothing else to say. If you guys did enjoy this video, let me know what you guys thought. If there is anything that you think I could improve, let me know. I do read a lot of feedback, so just know that. This is a bit more of a different video, but it is something that I am quite passionate about. I've been working on this for years, I guess, on and off, so it is something that I do find an enjoyment in, and I just want to share it with you. So just, if you like this kind of content, I will be making more probably in the future. Just let me know down in the comments if you enjoyed this. Subscribe, everything. Follow me on Twitch. Follow me on everything down in the description. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. Goodbye.